it was supposed to be, but somebody says, just so you know, just FYI, you're on the wrong channel. And I'm sorry for that, but people don't know how to put things back the way they found it, unfortunately. Sometimes, but we won't go there today. Anyway, where were we? Oh,
So the park, you said there was
yeah,
people there.
yeah. And it's super, it's just super sad. The whole thing is super sad, the way that it just is. It's all around us.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it doesn't really matter. Glenn says time for an ordinance. And then Lo saying, Ludwig says that means that Community National Bank is a nuisance property. Time for them, time to fine them. I wouldn't really call them a nuisance property. It's not their people. It's people coming through their parking
Right.
lot. And the people weren't in their parking lot anyways. They were in the parking lot, a couple of parking lots over. And they certainly have no control over who's coming in and out of their parking lot. So
Right.
they're not a nuisance property, but the people that are on their property are a nuisance because it causes people to be afraid to use the ATM, be afraid to park out back and walk around the front to pick up your food or from the restaurant or any of those other things. So it's not that's not something I personally would consider a nuisance property at all. It's not them.
No.
Glenn says now YouTube is messed up. I don't know why it's messed up because it says it's working. Oh, it's just going on and off though. I don't know what that is. It says we're streaming, Glenn, but I think that it's just having a temper tantrum for some reason. Hopefully you can stay on there. If not, slide on over to Facebook, if you will. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the discussion on Tuesday night, and I invite anybody, no matter how you feel about it,
Exactly.
whether you're for it or against it, to come out and talk about it.
Yeah.
I know that the last meeting, only a handful of people came out and they spoke out against it, and then the I call it rhetoric. It could be conceived as something different, but afterward was that it wasn't well supported, and the people that because nobody came except for the people against it. And I think that many meetings before, people had come
Right.
out very much
Right.
for it.
The public forum.
In the public forum, the safety community safety forum definitely
Yeah.
had a number of people that were there that said we need to do something.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's there's definitely a lot of people that feel very strongly about it on both sides of,
Sure there are.
of it, And it's just like with the cameras. People felt the same.
Mm-hmm.
Either you were all for it or you were absolutely against it.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, we know that we need something.
I look at it, Raylene, like it's to provide security and safety for people, not just the citizens, but visitors of Down Street, on Main
Right.
Street. And people don't feel comfortable.
And it's for everyone. That's
Right.
the thing. It's not for just, a lot of the perception is that this is only going to affect if you are homeless or and I totally disagree with that. I think it protects them in ways as well. I think that because they shouldn't be tormented by other people as well,
Right.
and let's face it, there's always been a homeless population in Barrie.
Sure.
But they weren't always treated the way they're treated right now because of the nuisance, the people that are really breaking laws and causing people to feel uneasy and unsafe when they're downtown.
Right.
And that's the shitty part of it. We've always had a homeless
Oh, yeah.
population here.
I remember as a kid, walking the railroad tracks as a kid,
Yeah.
and there were people that hung out all day. Maybe some were homeless, some weren't. But we used to call them bums or hobos, and they usually hung out in the coal bins along
Yep.
the railroad tracks.
Yep. And same, when I was in school, we used to walk the bike path back and forth to the playground and other things, the pool, things like that that were over there. And there were homeless.
Yeah.
They were, but really, we knew some of them. We knew their names. We knew who they were. They weren't. We weren't afraid of them. They weren't afraid of us. It was a very different time.
Right.
And if people weren't causing problems, if they weren't destroying property, if the statues on Main Street or City Hall Park or the pass-throughs with the graffiti and the urination, defecation, that kind of stuff happening in the pass-throughs, I really don't think we'd be where we're at right now.
Right.
We would just all coexist. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So whether you're for or against, and you think you got something worthy to say, show up at the meeting Tuesday night.
Yeah. And for me, it's not about your living situation, and it's all about your actions.
Right.
And whether or not you have control over
Right.
those actions.
We want everybody to feel safe.
Yeah, actually, that would be a great thing to go back to that. Judy says it's not just for the benefit of the merchants. School is getting out. Families can't walk Main Street. That's very true. There are different services, not just businesses. And I agree with that. We've seen people post that they're afraid to go to the library. They've had problems going into the
Yes.
library with their children because the front lawn is full of people, and the bathrooms are being used for to use drugs and to shower and
Yeah.
things like that. And they don't feel safe. And that's all in the children's library.
And with school coming to an end, it's vacation time, and believe it or not, people do come to Barrie. You'll see out of state cars. You'll see people taking pictures of Youth Triumphant, the Italian Memorial down on the corner of Maple Avenue and North Main Street. So we get people coming from not just out of town, but out of state, and we want them to feel safe when they're
Right.
here.
We know Rock of Ages is closed. There's going to be bus tours.
Yeah.
Those will come in. They will come in actually to the city. Things are going to look a lot different than
Yeah.
what they've looked in the past as far as that stuff goes. And
Right.
so all of that needs to be considered. So we'll see how it goes. I invite everybody to attend. You can attend in person. You can attend via Zoom. We'll put the links up. The link is always up on the city website, usually by Friday. Sometimes a little sooner than that, but usually at least by Friday. And I invite anybody and everybody to attend if you possibly can.
And just a heads up, the council room is not very big. We'd love to have more
the
people
chairs
come in
suck.
person. Yeah, and it's not the most comfortable room to have a huge group of people in. So you'd probably be better off visiting through Zoom.
Yeah, for sure. And as long as you click the link, you make sure that your name's in there so that you're identified. That's all that really matters. And that's just more for the purpose of taking minutes and knowing who says what
Yeah.
than anything. So there's no like crazy reason why they want to know your name or anything. That's really the reason, because
Yeah.
it's all reflected in minutes. And so it's important that you raise your hand. You can do that via Zoom. If you're somebody that doesn't want to speak when it comes time to speak, you can put a note up on the screen that says, write it on a piece of paper and put it up in front of your camera if you want, that says, yes, vote for the ordinance, or no, we're against the ordinance,
Sure.
whatever. Do whatever it takes, but try to participate. We
Yeah.
need more participation, for
Yep.
sure. Fixes. We got a lot going on as far as infrastructure upgrades and fixes.
Yeah.
Berlin Street.
They're
is
on
a
Berlin
closure.
Street today. I think they are think it's a water line that they're doing.
And that's
And-
between Highgate and Dagmont.
Yep. And let's see, what else are they? They're going to be doing sidewalk extension from Dagmont to Prospect Street intersection.
Yep.
And that's all in preparation of paving. So Berlin Street will be paved, Prospect Street will be paved, Allen Street will be paved, and then they'll start looking at other streets, that we can get in this summer.
And there'll be street clusters.
They're trying to
as you've
keep things
explained
clustered
before.
because you get more bang for your buck when they're clustered, because the contractor doesn't have to haul so many different areas. They're just working in one section. And like that's 3 big streets in one section.
Yeah, and that desperately needs it. Now, as far as the water main stuff, there will be an interruption
Yes.
to services, and I believe the Berlin Street area will affect down to John Street, I believe it said.
Yep.
And so just pay attention to that. I did post it, that all that information is on the city website. And if you are signed up for Regroup, you would have gotten that notice
Yes.
as well. And if you're not signed up for Regroup, do it.
Do
And,
it, yeah.
It's really a great tool.
Yeah. You'll get like no parking notices during the winter for storms. Projects like this, water main repair or an emergency break and they have to fix.
Yeah, any real emergency, they're going to let you know about it.
Yep.
And they do. They use it well. I love getting all the notices and knowing what's happening right away instead of waiting to see a post on Facebook.
Right.
So you see a post in one of the resident chat pages. Usually it's asking, somebody's saying, does anybody know what's going on? And then there's a flood of misinformation, smart-ass comments, and here and there you get the real answer. And but you have to read through all the sludge first.
There's never a shortage of smart ass remarks.
No, definitely not. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know, let's say I talked to the boys up on the hill today. They're going to be painting, not a full paint job on the pool. They're going to just do selected areas where it's faded or they've had to do some recaulking on a couple of seams. So that should be all done today, and then tomorrow they'll paint where they had to do caulking and repairs. And then probably, let's see, today's Tuesday, probably by Thursday they'll be putting water in.
Start filling it up.
Yeah.
How long does that take to fill the pool?
It used to take days, but when we did when we did the rehabilitation project, we put a fire hydrant in up there.
Yeah. Yep.
So now we just hook it up to the hydrant and let it run, and they'll set it up like in a late afternoon and go up the following day, like around noontime, and it'll be full.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. Do you know how many gallons it is? Just
I used
curiosity.
to know it right off the top of my head, but I can't remember what it is now.
Yeah.
It's hundreds. I know that.
Well, speaking of water and swimming and all of that stuff, well, first, let's say they are looking for help. There are job openings
Yes.
at the pool, lifeguards and jobs.
Yeah.
So check out the city website.
I think it was $17 an
I
hour
think
for
so.
lifeguards.
I think it was. So check that out if that's something that interests you. And then the river. Should you swim in the river? Now, we had this discussion at a meeting last night. We talked about this, and people have very different opinions about this. Some people say that it's been tested, and it's tested at some of the cleanest water in
Right.
Vermont.
Yep.
And maybe that's so. I mean, if that's what the test says, that's what the test says.
Well.
But my radar says, no. Yeah, I don't give a shit what the test says. I would not go swimming in there. One, because of even just all the stuff from the floods, the oil and the shit and the sewer and whatever that went into the river.
And definitely not after a storm. I mean, the water's up high. We've had a few drownings in that river, especially that section up by the shelters at Rotary Park.
Yep.
There was one just a few years ago. I remember that. There was a school kid decided to go swimming in what's called the falls up there,
Yeah.
and there used to be a dam there, so there's an undertow, and he got caught in there and lost somebody that way. Personally, nah, I wouldn't swim in the river.
No.
Only because when my mom and dad were in school, and they graduated from high school in 1949, and there was no pool then. The pool was, so if you're crossing the bridge to go to the pool, if you look down to your right, you'll see where the river widens.
Yep.
That was the swimming area
Yeah.
for kids back then. And my mom said it would be every now and then you'd see what I call a finless brown float by.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, you
Yeah.
wouldn't catch my ass in there. I'll tell
No.
you. No.
Mine either. I would just, and now, as we saw again, we talk about what gets posted online. We saw again just the other day, post a video of some campers down in the swimming area, in that area,
Yeah.
with needles.
Needles all over the place.
Yeah, used needles all over the place, uncapped. Not only. But then, feces and
Yes.
garbage and lots of other stuff just down there at the swimming area. And so really you should try to discourage your kids from going down
Yeah.
there at all, in
Kids,
my opinion.
pets,
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because we know that the River Access team, they did a whole lot of work to try to clean that up and make that a really nice area for families to enjoy.
Yeah, and
I
we-
used to enjoy it with my grandfather. He used to take us kids down there
Yeah.
back when.
A few years ago, we had Youth Conservation Corps come in, and they stabilized some of the banks and made nice walking paths, put
Yeah.
in stones in a few places to make it easier for people to walk. But then it's just welcomed in people that, I know it's not gonna sound right, but there's been quite a few homeless encampments down in there. But if they weren't hurting anything, we left them alone.
Right, if
And-
they weren't destroying
But now
it.
you've got these other people that are coming in and they're leaving needles, they're leaving rubbish. It's sad because that river is a nice little place. When you walk it from the shelters and you get up walking towards the Barry Town Line, there is a beautiful waterfall up there. It's a nice area.
I think so too. I've never been in that way. We always accessed from Jockey Hollow.
Yeah.
The little pull off right
Yeah.
before or after, depending on which direction you're going. But that's how my grandfather always took us, parked down there and walked down in.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
from
that used to be a good fishing spot
That's what
too.
I was going to say. That's where he took us.
Yeah.
That's why he took us there. We would go fishing, not swimming.
Yep.
We would go down there to fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a great time. Yeah. Judy says, speaking of stones, what are those skin cuts of granite doing in the river across from Beverage Baron? They were new this spring. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't really looked
I
over
haven't-
there.
I haven't noticed anything over there either. But I'll have to look now to see what that means. What she's talking about.
Maybe I'll ask the resident of under the Blackwell Bridge.
Right, you could. There is one. There is a resident there. And she says, absolutely don't swim in the river. Drains drain in there. Waste from people and pets. Needles. Yeah, all of that. All of that. Just, it doesn't sound like anything safe to me.
No.
That's for sure.
No.
And it is. It's sad and it's unfortunate that things have to be that way.
If you think you really want to swim in a river, then go over to Waitsfield Warren and swim over there.
Right.
They have dedicated areas where you can swim.
Yeah, that seem to be a much better choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. I'm not going to lie. I'm the same way about Harvey's Lake, for God's sakes. I'll go in it, but it's not my favorite thing to do.
Really? You don't
Yeah.
like to go into like lakes or ponds? Or,
Well, first of all, I have to admit that I can't swim.
oh,
And so I have to be able to see the bottom. I love Joe's Pond because you can walk out for forever there
At the
from
public
the
beach?
Yeah, you can be in the water. I could. That's the only place I would ever bring my kids when they were growing up
Yeah.
because I could be in the water with them and they were fine and I was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's where I bring the grandkids when they're up at my
Yeah.
camp.
I mean, that's the only place I ever used to take
Yeah.
them. But
Well, Harvey's they have a public beach.
they do, but it's not as nice as the one at Joe's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Harvey's Lake is one of my favorite places to go, but I just not in the water
then
unless I'm in a boat.
Then at Joe's, you can get something to eat too because Samble's
Right.
food truck is parked there.
Yes, and I've heard that is really good stuff.
I had a monster burger there a couple of weekends ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, they're big though. He has a burger that's like that big around, but he still uses a regular size bun.
And it hangs
So you gotta
all out of
you
it.
gotta like chisel your way around the meat on the outside first. And
But it's pretty darn good.
it is good. He has prime rib too.
Oh, he does have prime rib?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and he's got seafood. He's got all kinds of stuff.
Huh. I have, that is one place that I have not been. In the summertime, I like to go to, there's a place in St. Johnsbury. It used to be Riley's.
Riley's, but it's been sold.
Yes, now it's called something else, but they still have pretty decent food.
Do they have seafood? Because that's what
Yes,
Riley's was
yes,
famous
they
for.
do still have seafood.
Yeah.
But my favorite place to go for seafood is the snack bar at Queechee. Queechee Snack
Oh,
Bar.
I've never gone to that.
It
I've gone to
is
Tozier's
re- it-
before.
I'm telling you, that's the snack bar at Queechee is
Really?
absolutely incredible. It's well worth the drive. A friend of mine, I mean, we used to just ride all over trying to see where the best, best
Yeah.
clams were, best fried clams were in Vermont. I mean, we know where to go if we go to Maine, where we're going to get lobster, where we're going to eat, what we're going to do. But
Mike's Clam Shack?
yeah, but for here, it's the food is incredible.
Yeah.
And they have tons of other stuff on the menu as well, and it's just you get a lot of food for the money, and it's just really really good.
Couple of years
well
ago.
worth the drive.
A couple of years ago, I went up. My older son Justin lives up in Hyde Park, and we took a ride out on 100, and I think it was Lowell. Is that where the windmills are? Mm-hmm. And there's a snack bar on the side of the road called Cajuns.
Yes, I've heard about that.
Oh man, that place is awesome.
That's what I've heard.
Oh,
My niece and her fiance.
And
go
it's right
there.
on a 4-wheeler trail. Mm-hmm. Oh man, what a spot!
Yeah, that her and her fiance have gone there, and they talk about that place.
Yeah.
So that they're going to go to Cajuns because it's just so good. Yeah.
Well, and there's a place too so if you're on, is it Route 15 from Hardwick over to Hyde Park, it used to be called Mountain View Diner or Mountain View Snack Bar. There's a campground there, Mountain View
Oh
Campground.
yes.
And now it's called Gondola.
Yep.
It's been new owners, and Justin's eaten there a few times. He says it's really good.
Huh.
I love these
I'll have
little.
to try it.
That's
Do
what I
you go-
like.
Do you ever go to the Moose Look?
No, I haven't.
You really should try that
Yeah.
one. That's kind of on the outskirts of St. Jay. But,
Yeah.
Oh, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Headed towards Concord.
See, I like those
Yeah.
kind of places. It's,
Yeah. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Me too. And there really is lots of places to go and enjoy in Vermont,
Yeah.
actually. And lots of things to see, even if you live here. I know there's a million things that I've never seen. We did my friend and I did the waterfall, tried to go to all of the waterfalls. There's different maps and there's
yeah?
different tours that you can do. Yep, there's a one covered bridge one. There's waterfalls. There's quarries where you can visit different ones, and
Yeah.
there's a map tells you all the different things. And I agree, Glenn, Goodfellas over by Danville. That's a good place to eat.
Oh yeah,
too.
that's one of our deer season spots.
That's
That
one of the spots.
and the Danville Inn and Restaurant right in the village.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night buffet. Oh,
Very good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of known for the buffet crowd, but
You leave it empty.
you get like 6 or 8 guys coming in from
They
camp.
just they pray that you all leave.
Oh, the
soon.
guy, Steve, the owner, loves us. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank goodness for that. But we're lucky, I think. There's a lot of great things
Yeah.
to do and things that like I've lived here my whole life and I didn't even know probably 3 of those waterfalls even existed.
See, we used to,
They're all over.
during the summers when I was in high school, we used to ride our bicycles over to Warren Falls and swim over there.
Yeah, yeah. My sister used to do that with her friend
Really?
Pat. That's no small
Oh, no, that's a ride.
That's a
That-
long
That's a
ways.
ride. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, her and her friend Pat used to do that.
Yeah.
We leave in the morning and not come back till night
Yep.
because it was such a long ride. Yeah, that's not for me. No.
I probably couldn't do it now. So
No, me either. Definitely not. I still need more than an e-bike even. Like, I'd have I'd have wheels and gas. That's what I need.
yeah,
I'll take a motorbike maybe, but
bought
that's it.
I bought a big tricycle.
You did?
No,
You-
what about you? You can get yourself a big tricycle and ride with Michael.
Yeah, I know they don't go fast enough for me. That would drive me insane. I would literally lose my mind. I already have a real bad road rage problem, and that would put me over the edge, I think. With my own rig, I would
Yeah.
no, I could not tolerate that. I'd be jumping out of my own skin if I could only go 15 miles an hour. Can't even imagine. I could probably pedal faster than that.
So I noticed the banners are up. The new banners.
Yes, the new banners from the partnership.
Yeah.
Yep, those are up.
So it looked like some of them are like older pictures.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to walk around and check
historic,
them out.
I think they were trying to bring the historic stuff back
Yeah.
to look at kind of like how it was.
Yeah,
Yeah. So pretty cool.
it looks nice.
And I heard that there's going to be a mural down at Yipes on the front of their, the front of their building is like garage doors.
Yeah.
And they don't really use those. It's just the way I heard that there's going to be a pretty cool mural down
Really?
there on the
Nice.
front of that as well. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing it all. The concerts have started. Last week, Dawn of Thunder kicked it off. It was great. This week, I'm thinking, quite possibly it will end up being in the odd. We'll see how the day sugars off
Oh, yeah,
tomorrow.
that's right.
But right now, the weather's really not looking all that great. We'll have to wait and see how it sugars off. And
Boy,
yeah.
I wonder if they're done the work in the BOR so that it can be used again. I mean, I think they're done.
I don't know. I didn't even know that they were working up.
Yeah, they had to replace a header on the refrigeration system. So it's been basically closed. Let's see.
You do that. I'm going to do this. Jeff and I are wondering where this unicorn light came from. It's not ours. We think that this belongs to Michael Boutin. I think this is supposed to be a ghost, maybe an owl, riding on this unicorn's back. I'm not sure. Michael, if you're tuned in, can you give us some hints about the unicorn? Maybe it is, Glenn says Timu. Yep, that's possible. But I'm wondering if he uses it for his Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah,
stuff. That's what we're going to call it.
stuff.
Because
So today is the last
We're
day
not real
that the
sure.
BOR is closed.
Oh, good.
It reopens tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. for public walking. 8:30 to 10 every morning the rest of this week.
Which is awesome. So we know if need be, the concert
So it could be
can
moved up to the
move up there.
BOR. Yep.
I think that's what the plan is. That's what the plan usually is, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. It's just, it's easier to do it in the BOR than it would be in the auditorium because you can just walk right in. We did it a few times when I was still working. I remember it being up there.
Yeah.
Food trucks just park outside along the side of the building, and
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So I heard that Moe's Backyard Barbecue is looking at his schedule and going to be at the park sporadically. But there are the same, let me just pull up the partnership stuff because there are going to be the two that were there last week, but also one more that's going to be coming in this week that Tracy had posted about. Let's see, last week, Donna Thunder, Career Park, Bring a Blanket. So last week there was Doughy Fresh and Noka were the two places serving food. And it says both will be back this week, and we're excited to welcome St. Pierre Delicacy to the lineup. So we'll have to check out, see who that is and what they're bringing. And then the word on the street is that Moe's is eyeing his summer calendar to join some fun some of the nights. So not always, but some of the nights. Farmers Market, 3:30 to 6:30. Food trucks, 4 to 7. And concert, 5:30 to 7 p.m. And who's there this week? I gotta look at the schedule because I'm not sure who's there this week. Last week it was Donna Thunder, as we said, and they kicked it off in a real big way. It was awesome. This week is Green Mountain Swing Band. So that's who will be there tomorrow night.
wow.
Yeah. And I think Johnny Bendo and I will be at the
You doing the
Berry
table?
City Republican table again this week.
Yep.
I did it last week with Rosemary. I'll do this week with Gianni, and just because it would bother me terrible if he had to do it all by himself. So
Yeah.
I'll be there. And we're going to try to provide some information at the tomorrow night's meeting in regards to the ordinance.
Yeah.
So you can stop by the table, ask some questions. You can pick up copies of the ordinances. We'll have those there and a few other things as well, just so, we want people to know that we're there. And we're there to kind of help navigate some
Yeah.
of what's happening right now and to provide information as best we can.
Good.
So, and we'll do that with
Good.
literature
Yeah.
and try to keep our thoughts and opinions to ourselves. I'll save that for here when I can because
Yep.
you can either watch it or don't.
Yep.
So, but yeah. So that's it.
That's it.
That is it.
So a friend of mine said there's a place over in Northfield. I know they used to have that Rocket J's food truck.
Yes, and now, so Paul Bean. who
Okay, yes,
does
that's what I heard.
The creamy stuff, the podcasts here on Fridays. He runs a food truck and creamy stand over in Northfield.
Is
in
it
the old-
native beef? Is that what he has?
Yeah, I guess so. Native beef, it's called, or something beef. I can't
I heard he has
remember.
yak,
Yeah, yak. That's what it's called.
but he has other just
Yep.
beef.
And so, all kinds of hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries, whatever, and then creamies and different flavors and stuff. And I guess it's really good. I have not gone over to try, but it's in the old Bean Chevrolet
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
location. So, if you're out and about, just, stop over,
Yeah.
say hey, get something to eat, and then go for a ride and find a waterfall or something else pretty or
Yeah.
interesting, and then report back case.
See, I
we
like
didn't.
those little places like that.
Me too. Me too. For sure. It's always good stuff. So thank you all for tuning in. We will see you again on Thursday. The ladies will be here tomorrow night on Wednesday, I believe, at 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30. It goes back and forth depending on what's happening in their world. They all are physical therapists, so it all depends
Yeah.
on that. So, but they will be in. The ladies will be in the studio tomorrow night. Jeff and I will be back for a table talk Thursday at noon, and then I believe that Michael and I will do a weekly wrap this week from the studio, not legendary, because I can't do that every week. But we'll do that from the studio Thursday night at 7, and then Friday, the Vermont podcast at 2:30. And that's it. Get out, enjoy yourself, go to the concert, take in all the things you can. Yeah.
Don't worry if it's raining. You could go indoors at the VOR.
That's right. And come to the council meeting
Yeah.
via Zoom or in person. This is important stuff that I know you all talk about because I see it online all day, every day. So make your voice count. Don't just,
Yeah.
type it out there and have a bitch session online. Have a bitch session where it counts. And just let's try to keep it under midnight.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a great day, Glenn. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.